All right, let's move on to our next story. Now, this is just an interesting thing. This is just interesting. Okay. So last night, I was laying in bed and I was trying to really figure out what was going on with like the trucker protest and like what was going on in that bridge. And don't worry, if you already pre-ordered the book, I can send you a book plate. Don't worry about it. So I was scrolling through the trending topics on Twitter, and of course, Twitter wasn't telling me the information I wanted to know, but they did tell me this very helpful information from about the Queen of England, that Queen. Apparently, the Queen might have COVID, and I was a little annoyed about not being able to find information about what was going on that bridge, but they're serving me up information about the Queen might have COVID. Like, fine, I'm sure she's got the best healthcare in the world. But then I kind of thought, I was like, I just tweeted this out, not actually expecting an answer. I said, I wonder if Justin Trudeau has spoken with the Queen. And I wonder what advice she gave him, like to be a fly on that wall, right? Well, one of my viewers, shout out to Justin White, responded to me, and I really just thought that this was a really funny piece of information. Justin said, they are talking about calling in the military. I order to do they in I think he means in order to do that, they need her assent or that of her representative, the governor general. This is a situation where we are blessed to be a monarchy. Pisspots like Trudeau are not the head of state. And so it turns out that in order for Justin Trudeau to call in the military for the trucker strike, he actually does need permission from the Queen. And I feel like more people should be talking about this because I feel like this has just become a much bigger deal. I mean, let's be honest. Like the royal family in England is kind of like skating on thin ice. I kind of think the monarchy is going to fall apart as soon as Charles becomes king because Charles is going to screw it all up. Charles is way too political. And I feel like the Queen has been holding on to dear life, just hoping that Charles dies before her so she can pass the crown directly to William. And I know that's awful to say, but like this could actually create an international incident. Because like what is the if the Queen gives Justin Trudeau permission to use the military on this trucker strike, then what does that actually mean for the future of the monarchy? I feel like this is an issue that has not been addressed. Let me read this. What Justin wrote to me here. He says, formally, there is a direct chain of command from the Queen of Canada to the Governor General through the Chief of Defense Staff to all of those officers who hold the Queen's commission and through them to all members of the Canadian forces. No other person, including the Prime Minister, cabinet ministers, nor public servants, is part of the chain of command, nor does any other person have any command authority in the Canadian forces, an arrangement maintained to ensure that the military is an agent for and not a master of the state. As such, all new recruits into the Canadian forces are required to recite an oath of allegiance to the monarch and his or her heirs and successors. Yeah, so Julie's like, I didn't know Canada had a queen. No, Elizabeth is the queen of Canada. She's the queen, like it's part of the Commonwealth, right? I think that's how it works. So literally, in order for Justin Trudeau to call in the military, he needs to get the Queen's permission through the Governor General. Now, I did get some responses to this saying, Carlin, Justin Trudeau appointed the Governor General, and therefore this is just a rubber stamp. He doesn't really get permission from the Queen. I'm sorry, I call bullshit. I do. Because ultimately, if the Queen does not want Justin Trudeau to call in the military, she can pick up the phone and call the Governor General and be like, do not give Justin Trudeau permission to call in the military. Now, what happens? Because the Queen apparently has COVID, so maybe she's sick and she's being well looked after and taken care of. And I don't want to I don't want to seem this as like any disrespect to the Queen. I think the Queen is great. Like she's lived a life of service, man. Nothing but respect for her. But what happens if Justin Trudeau's hand-picked governor general ignores the wishes of the Queen or doesn't consult her anyway and tells Justin Trudeau that he can send in the military, and then Justin Trudeau sends in the military to use on these peaceful protesters, and it all comes back on the Queen because technically she has to authorize it anyway? Like, that's the end of the monarchy. That is literally the end of the flipping monarchy. I'm just saying, this isn't really a piece of news. This is just a tweet, but I just think this is fascinating. Like, I don't even know what's going on in Canada today. I haven't really been keeping up on it, but what happens if Trudeau calls in the military? It all goes horribly, horribly wrong, as it inevitably would. And then the Queen ends up getting blamed for it because technically Justin Trudeau has to ask her permission. Fascinating. It's like a game of chess, isn't it? I love it. I love this stuff. I love like gaming out different scenarios. Again, I'm like very into like people make a series of choices. You can make this choice or you can make this choice. There's usually more than two choices. But like, what happens if you go here? What's the next logical thing to happen? And then what happens if you go here? We literally could be living in a time that brings down the monarchy. How great is that? Smooney says, I feel like Charles would give permission. I bet Charles would give permission as well. This is why Charles should never be king. Charles is going to destroy everything. I just wanted to go, although I have to say, like, okay, again, I follow royal stuff like way too much. It did warm my heart that the queen made a proclamation on her diamond jubilee that she wanted Camilla to be queen consort because ever since Charles and Camilla got married, they said that Camilla wasn't going to take the title of queen, she was going to take the title of princess, and then the queen came out and said no. No. Camilla has been of great service to me, and it is my wish that she be called queen consort. I actually thought that was a really nice thing to do for her diamond, or not her platinum, whatever, platinum jubilee, whatever, 70 years on the throne. I thought that that was a really nice gesture. I did. So there's our little royal update for the moment.